Now, I'm lucky enough to see a lot of organisations, and you can get some very high-performing salespeople individually, right? I have never seen a high-performing sales team unless there's a strong leader at the top. It doesn't. You can be a good salesperson without a strong manager, but I have never seen a high-performing sales team unless the leader is doing something right. Now, I'm going to use an analogy here, and I know sporting analogies are, also used a lot in business. But I used to be a cox for a boat club because I was really small, not very good at sport, but quite like the idea of team sports. Anyone here used to row? Any rowers? Oh, really? Okay, good. All right, so I've got a couple of people who know what I'm talking about. So I really like the idea of team sports. So I became a cox anyway. So if you think about it, so I was a cox, and I was faced with these 8 6'7", 17 stone men who were looking at me saying, okay, like, I'm really fit, I'm an athlete, I can make this boat go real fast. You're dead weight in the boat. Unless you can bring some value here, you're just going to slow us down, you're dead weight. And so it was inherent upon the leader, the cox, to actually bring some value to this situation. And I really think it's the same. You can have good salespeople, they're all good. So the manager or the leadership within a sales environment has to be able to make the boat go faster than it would if it wasn't, and some of you may have read the book, Make the Boat Go Faster. And that sort of lives with me quite a lot. So there's 6 things about leadership, and then I'm done, so I'll spend a minute on each. So there's 6 aspects about sales leadership, which I'm going to relate to the cox, but it's that kind of then goes around in a cycle. So number 1 is having the plan, having the strategy. So I did cox to quite a high level, and so I did have a coach, and there was a manager of the team, and physios and all sorts. And we would always, before any season, actually, we would agree, what are we trying to achieve, and how are we going to do it, and what is the plan? And before any race, what is the plan? And it might be, do we want a gold, or do we want a silver? And it would be a completely different plan. If you're up against the British boat, you might try and go for gold, or you can just go for silver and pretty much guarantee it. So very different strategy depending on what you're trying to achieve. And so the number 1 is the strategy and executing on the strategy. So the cox owns that. The sales leader needs to know, what is it we're trying to do? And it sounds very simple, but not everyone does. A simple plan, execute on the plan. Once you've defined the plan, you need to pick the right team. So you can't pick the team and then write the plan. What is it we're trying to achieve? Are we trying to go for new logo business? Are we trying to manage accounts? Are we trying to greenfield into new territory? Or are we trying to go for large accounts, small accounts, geographies? And when you've got the plan, then you know the resources you need to fit in the plan. So the right people you need in the boat. And once they're in there, you need to motivate them. Now, what can I say about motivating the team? The sales leader I still have really close, lots of salespeople that work with me, worked for me in the past, are still good friends of mine. I invest deeply. Once I think I've got the right team, I will walk over hot coals for them. I will do anything for the team. Once I've picked them, and if they're the right people who I believe, then you have to back them 100%. The hierarchy triangle of sort of leadership at the top and all the front line at the bottom, I don't believe in that at all. I flip that completely upside down. I consider myself down here serving the front line and trying to remove any obstacles, because I don't have like in the boat, I don't have an oar, I didn't have a blade, I couldn't make the boat go fast. I don't have any clients. I can't invoice anyone. So if I want to hit my number, the only way I can hit my number is by enabling everyone in the front line to hit all their numbers. Then I'm done. So find the right people, back them, and the job's a good one. Okay, so those boat races coming up soon. You're laughing. Anyone who knows this? So one of the other things the cox does is steer the boat. So you have the rudder. Okay. Now, in the boat race, when you watch, the tide runs the fastest where the river is deepest. And there's one line where it's the deepest. And you want to be in that line because then you've got as much going behind you as you can. And that line is the second lamppost in on the Hammersmith Bridge. Okay, that's why the lamppost. So as when you see them all clashing in the Oxford and Cambridge boat race, it's because they're all trying to get in the line because that's giving them the best possible chance of going as fast as they possibly can. So steering the course, for me, obviously I don't look for the second lamppost, but it's about not getting distracted and making sure you're just taking the path of least resistance. So if you, we have really strict, like coming second in a pitch is the biggest waste of money, right? Coming second in something is so expensive, because all of that time could be spent doing something else. So we're lucky enough to enjoy a really, really high win rate at Imparter because we qualify really, really hard, and so we only invest the time in the deep part of the river to make sure, don't invest time in the shallow waters because you're not going to go very fast in those waters. So steering the course is the fourth one. So a cox has a little, what's called a cox box, great for double entendres, right? So you have something called a cox box, which shows you how many strokes being to how fast, how long you got left, it gives you the metrics. Sales leaders, choose your metrics and then monitor the metrics. Look, if you know it's win rate, or if you know it's renewal rate, or if you know it's performance against target, or it's average order size, monitor those metrics. And if you're not hitting the metrics, you need to change the plan, or you need to, change someone in the boat, or whatever it may be. So monitor the metrics. And then the last one, the other advantage the cox has, cox is the only one, everyone else is going backwards. So the cox, the leader, is the only one that can actually see everything going on. So when you're the cox, you can see whether you're that far away from the next boat or they've got 5 lengths on you. And sometimes you share that information, sometimes you don't, depending on it. So the leader also has the advantage of being able to see everything that's happening in the market. So you are the person that hears, we lost this because of that, we won this because of this, I heard that, my competitor over there's, and you're the central point. Each individual salesperson has their own experience and their own war wounds and their own, their own sort of repertoire. But you have to listen to the market and hear what's going on and start joining those dots and listen to what's happening, so that then you go back to one, which is creating the plan. So if the market's changing and stuff's happening around you, you can see what's going on and then you change the plan accordingly. So with 1 minute to spare, so I'm sorry that was a bit of a whistle-stop tour. So I am around, I'm Janet. I don't know if you've got time for a question or not. You can find me on Twitter, or you can email me, and thank you for listening. I don't know if I've got time.